Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Uncensored Twin Podcast, where truth meets fire. As you all know, this place is for the truth and not against the truth.
Yeah.
We talking a truth for here. We not the truth chop put out for my mouth, me swallow out for bear. No. Anything you hear from anybody on this seat is the truth. Uncensored Twin, we are not lying. We're not the form top keeper for person. Say can't talk for the place. No. What you're coming here to say, know that is the truth. And when you say it, people should hear the truth. Anything when I hear them for this place, anything you listening from this podcast, now so we hear them too from the person you mock. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your main host for today. My name is Jack, as you all know. Right beside me, I have my lovely girlfriend. Right in front of me, I have my one and only twin brother, Mr. Jeff, a man worth $2.5 billion online, but offline. I repeat, you know, really get no offline. Muna not check say, just see so that
you mention this thing all time.
Yes. Right beside him is his lovely girlfriend, Favor. Yeah, the photocopy of my own girlfriend.
Sorry, I'm out.
Sorry. They really take it beauty. They use my girlfriend Crazy as they use Adam create Eve. And so they use Faith create Favor. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We have an amazing guest today on this podcast. We don't know if you believe so if we bring the kind of person for here. See, you all be thinking about the kind of people we bring here, but this person today, you'll be shocked because this is something you're wishing to have, but you never knew we'll bring it to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, this person will be teaching us, he's a dietitian, and will be teaching us today about some things we do consume, how they do affect us, and some possible solutions about this stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, he's no other person than Mr. Daniel. Hello, Mr. Daniel.
Hi,
welcome to Uncensored Twin Podcast.
You're welcome, sir.
Get today, sir.
Thank you too. I'm happy to be here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, like I said before, we'll be asking you some questions about food and stuffs, drinks, so many other things we do consume, and they do affect us, and some of the possible solutions that we can have for this. So, Mr. Daniel, I have this question. Why is it that despite having so many types of organic food in Africa, we are still facing the rise of diseases in our country?
I will begin to say that we Africans now, we are really dragging behind. Like I would say it, I would just say dragging behind in the sense that we are blessed indeed with everything. But we still want to copy the Western lifestyle, going deep down to the aspect of what we eat. What we eat now, we turn from consuming natural organic stuff that we have in Africa here, and we always tend to go and buy what processed something because we are fooled by how it sounds. For example, you see something like all these noodles that we buy, they are processed foods. So despite having all of these organic things, we are fooled by what we hear, and by what we hear meaning our lifestyles are being changed, because if we start growing this habit of eating all these processed foods which are highly rich in sugar, which sugar is necessary for the body for energy. Yes, it's the primary source of energy to the body, but when in excess now, it is a problem. And once it brings one problem, it does not come only with one, it comes with many other problems, and this set of problems are called non-communicable diseases. That means they are diseases that you can have without being in contact with somebody. They are diseases that you can have based on your lifestyle, especially on what you eat. So that is why, despite having all these organic foods, we are still having these diseases, and they are increasing randomly.
Okay, so Mr. Daniel, do you think we've mentally replaced the idea of status? Like many people actually consume a lot of processed food or fast food as a proof of maybe they're living life smoothly.
Yes, actually, the way the society looks like now, it seems like if someone asks me, Daniel, what have you eaten? If I don't tell the person I've eaten burger or shawarma, he will not make it listen that it's not that I am also living life like that type of thing. But meanwhile, it is only beautiful how it sounds and how it looks. But our inner body does not recognize that beauty. Our inner body does not have the necessary enzymes to digest these things and possibly send the toxins out of our body. That is why it keeps on accumulating, and when it's accumulating, it begins to cause problems to the body. So a lot of people have changed that mentality. They have what I'll call it is a rubbish mentality, because I will not get up in the morning and I'm drinking, for example, fever grass tea, and someone tells me the person has taken pancake, and the person expects me to praise you. I cannot.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. I have this question to ask. So what do you think is the major reason for people acting in this manner, and how much of this shift in eating habit do you think is linked to colonial influence?
You cannot copy a particular habit that you've not seen from somewhere, or you have not been doctrined with. This particular feeding habit, like I'll call it, that people feed a lot on processed food. It is based on what we always see. For example, if you watch TV, you see how they advertise burger there. You see how they advertise shawarma, for example. It is really attractive. You just see only the aroma. You only see the meat on that grill and you start perceiving the aroma. It tends to drive you to eat, to go towards something to consume it too. So I can say it is actually really based on what we see and what we learn, how we are being educated on food. So people really also lack the proper information and the proper knowledge about food, how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat.
All right.
Okay, sir, thank you very much. So what are some traditional foods that have been ignored but are actually much healthier for us?
Okay, the first traditional food that I'll speak from my own perspective, because we can talk here and someone in the village who really loves that particular food will tell you that no, it's not being ignored. But now the person fails to understand that there is a certain percentage of people who recognize that food, and that is what we are looking at now. That is what we want to pay attention to, the amount of people who have drifted away from that food, not the amount of people who are still there. The first one I'll call is, for example, nkui. How many of you here in nkui?
I don't eat
Nobody.
Yeah.
But I'll shock you. That nkui has a lot of health benefits.
Wow.
A lot.
Wow.
Rich nkui. Yes.
Eh.
Rich in phytochemical. You can even replace nkui with egg. If you don't know, you can replace nkui with egg. Me, I fried pancakes using nkui as my source of egg. Yes. Nkui is a very powerful binder.
Wow.
It's a very powerful binder. On a serious note. So that's just an example I can quote, which is really common because a lot of people are drifting away from it. Even, for example, sweet potato.
Yeah.
We the men here, what did you hear about sweet potato? That it causes erectile dysfunction.
Just why I'm being needy working again.
But all of those things are lies. There's no research. Quote me anyway. Search on Google now. There's no research that have proved sweet potato to actually cause erectile dysfunction in men.
Wow.
All right, Mr. Daniel, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. How this thing is bothering me. You know, in Africa today, I can say people take this sweet juice and hard drinks. They take in more than water. For example, person going to have water for some place. You prefer me to put in a juice than say me to put water. Yes, people take 80% of juice than water in Africa. So can you tell us what is the effect of sweet drinks in our body?
That's a very nice question, a very powerful question, because it's really common out there. So you see sweet drinks, for example, we should first look at the contents. What is in that sweet drinks before we actually look at the health disaster it causes. The first thing you look at sweet drinks, is actually made from syrup. Syrup is a mixture of water and sugar, but the water has been evaporated. So it's kind of like being sticky. You know when you fry empty sugar in a pot and that is syrup. So that is what they use to make these sweet drinks, all these beverage companies. So the sugar in it is actually really refined. That means it is really available for our system to absorb. That means our system do not actually have to break it down. And breaking down is actually an important process in digestion. So if your system just needs to absorb something directly, that means it makes it bioavailable, and it's actually a problem. All these sweet drinks, it boils down to what? Sugar. At the end, it increases what? Our sugar content. And actually increasing the sugar content, when sugar is much in the body, that sugar is being stored where? In the liver as glycogen. Once it's stored as glycogen there, when the glycogen still is in excess, that glycogen is being converted to fats in a process called lipogenesis. So this fat now is the problem.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. I read something online. They were saying that drinks from plastic bottles are not really healthy, especially when it has been exposed to sun, and that the container itself it becomes toxic to the drink. How dangerous is that?
Wow, it's very, very dangerous because let me first say this. Plastic bottles are made from a particular chemical which is called bisphenol A. I think yes, bisphenol A. This bisphenol A has the ability to detach itself from that container and enter into the drink, especially when exposed under sunlight.
Okay.
And like for example, I can quote you. You can go out there now, pass beside how many shops. You will not count the amount of shops that you see drinks being exposed under sunlight. Sunlight is very powerful.
Sure.
Very, very powerful. So when it makes this particular compound from and other compounds that are used to produce these plastic drinks detach and enter inside these drinks. There are things that we cannot see with our naked eyes. So you cannot see it with your eyes. It's only when you've consumed it and it start and doing several things in our body. For example, bisphenol A, it can actually mimic as estrogen, especially to women, and it can cause what premature puberty.
Okay.
It's a problem to women. It can disrupt your menstrual cycle. It can do a lot of things in your body. So drinking from a plastic bottle, it's actually really very dangerous, especially to the way we treat it out there, because we expose it to sunlight, and there are even times that we even put oil in it and heat it. It's so all these chemicals actually leave the oils and enter there, and the danger in which it can cause to our body, it can cause cancer, because these chemicals are actually categorized under group 1 carcinogens. Carcinogens are compounds that can actually cause cancer to our body.
Wow.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. We are learning a lot already, and we believe our viewers too are learning a lot already. And I have a question, and I think it's very important because it's for alcohol. You know, alcohol is normal in our culture. Alcohol is normal, something like if you go to any occasion now, you must find people drinking alcohol. So I have this question: what is the long-term impact on our health, especially people who are drinking all the time?
Okay, people who drink all the time, they have a long-term impact. Wait, let me first start with this. They often say drink responsibly, but I'll tell you, it is difficult to drink in a responsible manner. It is very difficult.
Sure.
Because once you've taken alcohol, do you know the first organ of your body alcohol affects? No, just think about it. Just think about it. The first organ of your body, like when you drink alcohol, what is the first thing you think about? What's the first part of your body that works?
I don't even drink alcohol.
It's your head. Thank you.
Right.
The main organ in your head is what? The brain. That is the first organ of the body alcohol affects, and the brain is not supposed to be stressed in at any circumstance, because alone the brain controls everything in your body. Even your heartbeat is your brain which regulates it. Everything. So you don't have to stress the brain at any circumstance. But fortunately, you see, alcohol is the second nutrient. Let me say the second compound, that gives energy to the body. Yes, in terms of calories, because the first is fat. Fat gives 9 kilocalories in 1 gram. Alcohol in 1 gram gives 7 kilocalories. Protein and carbohydrates gives what? 4 kilograms only. So though it's having this high energy content still, but the body does not choose to use alcohol as the primary source of energy. Body chooses what? Carbohydrates. When carbohydrates has finished, it goes to proteins before fats. So though the body does not use this, it means it's just to tell you how toxic alcohol is to the body. So being toxic like this, it can lead to long-term effect like liver problem, because it's the liver that is responsible to detoxify the system and send it also to the kidney. So the kidney also plays a role in it. And it can also cause acute kidney failure, the same as even liver failure, even skin disease. Yeah, I'll shock you. Alcohol can cause skin disease. Alcohol alone can cause a lot of things in the system, and it can also lead to diabetes, because alcohol is made up of glucose. They are sugars.
Okay, they say there is advantage and advantage of and disadvantage of anything. So if there is advantage for disadvantages for alcohol, what is the advantage? What may be the advantage of alcohol in our body?
The advantage of alcohol, like I would say, that this one is just scientifically proven, but it is not yet medically advised, because the adverse effects is more than the advantages. The first thing is that alcohol relieves you from stress. That one is true. Anybody who drinks alcohol will kill you. Once you
How come?
yes, it is the same thing, because there are different mechanisms of action. That's why when you drink alcohol, first of all you feel anxious, then you just feel happy. No, not to know the stress you.
Yeah, normally. Sure.
No, not to know the worry you for the people who have heartbreak. What do? They drink first.
Get drunk.
They drink first, but now after, inside that drunkenness, what happens? They start regretting. Now that is where the other part of drunkenness comes. Drunkenness
Other
is
two side colors.
actually drunkenness is actually like a phase. It changes why you're going. So, and the other aspect of alcohol is the other advantage is the energy part of it, because once alcohol enters the system, your liver detects that alcohol has entered the system and it is a toxin to the system. Let me eliminate it. As it is eliminating it, it's not going to eliminate the sugars, because your system have enzymes that are capable of digesting and absorbing these sugars. So while it is being absorbed into the system, it is giving you energy readily.
Okay, so thank you very much. I also have this question to ask. are there any natural or safer alternatives for people want to reduce alcohol? Like, what can they drink apart of alcohol?
There are a lot of natural juice out there that we can drink. Possibly, it is always preferably that you make your own drink at home. Anything that has alcohol, it's dangerous. That is what I always say. But the safest liquid food is water. That is the safest and is the purest, because water alone detoxifies. Water helps all other organs in the body. That is why you see even the kidney. Once the kidney filters your blood, what does it do? It reabsorbs water back to the system.
Yeah.
That's just to tell you the importance of water. If you go, for example, someone who has kidney stones, where you go, they will not prescribe you any big drug for you to be taking. They may prescribe you drugs, yes, but the main thing they will tell you is always drink water.
Okay.
So that is the safest. Or if you must drink something natural, you can, for example, buy an orange and squeeze and get the juice.
Right.
That's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. I have this question. In Africa, breakfast is basically tea, white bread, puff puff, this in sugar. Yeah. So I just want to ask, what would you take it in every morning? What message does this all send to our body every morning?
I'll first start by saying breakfast is what you define to be breakfast. Breakfast is not, there's no law anywhere that they say you should drink tea. And even if you are drinking tea, and even if you are drinking tea, there are different types of teas. I can tell you I'm drinking fever grass. Fever grass is a tea. It's made from leaves. If you know the definition of teas, you will not even call this milk, Ovaltine and sugar thing a tea.
Really?
Yes, you will not. That thing is just water and milk. Simple. Water and milk. So once you are taking breakfast in the morning, if you decide to take your breakfast in the morning, let me put it that way, because breakfast actually, it is the first meal you take a day.
All right.
It's not the time you take it. People break their fast around 3 p.m. It is their breakfast. That is why the name is breakfast. So when you wake up in the morning, it depends on your activity you have to carry out that day. So you know what specifically you should take. So if I'm someone that I'm a hard laborer, so I'm going out there to do what? To burn energy. So definitely I'll need to put in more energy to go out there and burn it. But if you are someone that you always work in an office, or you do any critical thinking job, what you need to take is actually a leafy tea. A leafy tea, precisely moringa tea, or fever grass tea, or lemongrass. Lemongrass is fever grass, yes. So any of them can go, because all of these things are rich in phytochemicals and antioxidants. They actually relieve you from oxidative stress. It relieves you, like it keeps you alert throughout the day. So what you're taking out in the morning is passing a message to your body how your day has to go.
Yeah.
That is it about breakfast.
Okay, Mr. Daniels, you mentioned that most of our vegetable oils in the market are not healthy. Can you break down what's in these oils and how they are being processed?
Okay, the notion about vegetable oil in the market, it has actually really been quite confusing for people. They call it vegetable oil first, but it's not vegetable oil. There is no oil that is being extracted from vegetables. If you extract an oil from a leaf, from a flower, it is an essential oil. It is used for perfumeries. It is not consumable. If you see majority of perfumes, the scent is from rose, berries, and so on. It's from the flowers. Those are the oils that are extracted from the leaves. Those are essential oils used for that purpose, not to eat. All edible oils are extracted from the nuts and the seeds of plants. All edible oils extracted from the seeds and the nuts. If you go to the market, what we call groundnut oil, it's no groundnut oil. You can never extract a liter of groundnut oil and sell for even 2,000 francs. Never. If you extract a liter of groundnut oil, it should be sold at least 9,000 francs if you know what groundnut oil is. Everything we call in the market that groundnut oil is actually palm oil. It is written on it. Check the labels.
Really?
Check the labels.
Just use my red oil.
Simple. Use your red oil, and red oil is actually very advantageous in the sense that what people take this red oil, these big companies, they take red oil and what they subject it to high temperatures, 300 degrees to 500 degrees. That is even hotter than hellfire.
So all that
They subject it to it.
all those stuff we see in the market, that's
Palm oil.
It's palm oil. Read the labels. It's
Don't
lit.
hide the color. How did they do to change?
It's this temperature I'm telling you about.
Wow.
Once they heat it at this temperature, right, it destroys all the nutrients in it. It destroys beta carotene, especially because this beta carotene that gives the color of that oil. And beta carotene is actually very, very helpful to us because it's the precursor of vitamin A. Vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin. Vitamin A helps us to see. There's actually a part of our eyes that is named after vitamin A, the retina. Vitamin A is called retinol acid.
Oh. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Guys, I also want to hear. Time to go and buy granola that is. I invite you to just use your palm oil in the house, please.
Use your palm oil. Do not bleach. Do not bleach because even when you bleach palm oil, it will actually reach the
You need to
smooth
bleach
point.
fire before you fry rice. So
No.
Bro,
That is why I say it will be beautiful to see it, but our system will not see it beautiful.
really?
when you have your red oil, don't put it for pot.
Yes,
You
cook your
cook with
fried
it
rice.
directly.
Yeah, red janga rice.
Directly. That is what our parents did earlier.
Sure.
That's what they were doing, janga rice. That was one of the best foods I love from my grandmother.
Sure.
Red oil in janga rice, just like that.
Wow.
Now, coconut, you have to bleach oil until it turns white.
Yes.
All right, sir.
Not there.
You put even granule. And the funny thing is that these oils also cause cancer. Yes, because let me tell you something here. Once you subject oil to high heat, there are other compounds that are being stored in that oil which are called aromatic polycyclic compounds. These compounds are carcinogens. If you keep on taking it in the long term, it causes atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is just a big name, but it's actually very easy to understand. Look at our vein, for example, where blood passes there. It does not need any blockage. You can take a pipe of water, for example. When you press the head, what happens? The pressure of the water increases.
Sure.
So a blood has a certain flow rate that it has to flow in our system. Any flow rate that the blood actually either increases or decreases, it actually causes a problem. So if the blood is flowing with high pressure, it is hypertension. That is the meaning of hypertension. So these bleach oils, the fats in the bleach oils, they are actually deposited where? In our bloodstreams, in our vessels, in our arteries. Once they block there, they are blocking blood to flow freely. And they are making the veins and the vessels very, very narrow, increasing the pressure. That's hypertension. Imagine that it's in the brain. Blood flows everywhere.
Oh.
Imagine that it's in the brain. What happens? It causes stroke. You die instantly.
Oh.
Okay, sir, thank you. I also have this other question. What's your take on street foods like fried plantain, fried pork, sugar balls, and even more? Like, what should the public know about this food and their dangers if they eat it regularly?
Okay. What I would say about that is it generally have just one problem generally. Because the people who do this, the people who prepare this food actually, they do not change their oil. Have you ever passed and you see Mami Achombo changing oil?
They're only adding
And what is the color of the oil?
black.
The more they use it, the blacker it becomes. Right? And the black, have you ever asked yourself what causes oil to be black? Is this aromatic compounds, these polycyclic aromatic compounds that are being deposited that changes the color to black. And those are what carcinogens we are putting in our system. Those are carcinogens. Luckily, God made the body so very powerful that we can even resist it to a particular age. That's why now we are living the lifestyle and it's very easy for us to live. But once we want to turn 50, even 40, now we start developing some type of diseases that they were first meant for old people.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. All right, we hear so much about intermittent fasting.
Yes.
So I want to know, what does that word mean?
Intermittent fasting. Actually, intermittent fasting is actually not eating at a particular time and eating at a particular time. That is what intermittent fasting is. But people misuse it because they say intermittent fasting is when you eat this particular food. No, intermittent fasting does not give you what to eat. It gives you the way to eat.
All right. So if I want to start intermittent fasting,
Yes.
and someone that always eat, I usually chop all time. So if I want to start it, how will you advise me to start it to take stuff?
What I will advise you to do, but normally this one is consultation. Maybe after that you give me money.
Please help me.
Alright.
Okay. What you actually do is you study yourself for a week first. Every day, anything you eat, you write it down. At the end of the day, you see how many times you've eaten. I cannot tell you to start intermittent fasting immediately, like to eat 3 times per day. Meanwhile, you were eating 10 times. You will die. You cannot survive. You cannot make it. So you first have to study yourself. You see an average amount of times you eat per day. You try to slash it by 80%. If I'm eating 10 times per day, I try, okay, let me eat 8 times per day this week. If I successfully pass that week, the following week, I take another 2 times slash down. You keep on reducing that so that your body also have time to adjust and arrange itself to flow with that new rhythm until when you can finally pick up a particular specific time to always eat.
All right, thank you so much. You think it's advisable for someone to pick up on that step? Like, is it advantageous to reduce this intermittent fasting?
Yes, I would say it's advantageous. It's very, very advantageous. But now it depends also on the person. Yeah. You need to look at your BMI, your basal metabolic index, to see if you're obese or not. Because if someone is malnourished, then the person cannot fast intermittently. Because malnourished people are people who need nutrients, so they need to eat frequently.
I'm surely that. Frequently, how do you do it up?
You can't really tell, but unless you go and they measure it for you, they have to take your height and your weight to actually calculate your height and your weight to actually give you your BMI, and you'll be advised to either undergo intermittent fasting or to eat more. So if you are actually obese now and you have to start intermittent fasting, it is very possible. It's just a habit. And you are just changing your lifestyle to suit a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Daniels. There was one time I had heartburn, so my doctor advised me to stop eating late at night. Do you think there's a specific time to eat, or there's a better time, or my future choppy anyhow?
You had heartburn. Is it that you ate at night, or what happened? When did you eat?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You can't
can't remember, because heartburn also can be caused by the nature of the food you eat. But if you're having heartburn at night, it's because you're eating late.
Okay.
If you're having heartburn at night, it's because you're eating late. Because
but
you know,
sometimes they used to say when you eat cocky,
yes,
you have heartburn.
That is why I say the nature of the food.
Okay.
Cocky gives heartburn because it is the protein sequence. I mean, the amino acid sequence of the protein is heavy to cool down. So when you reach the stomach, the hydrochloric acid that is produced, your stomach has to produce a lot of hydrochloric acid, and some are being refluxing back into your esophagus and coming towards your chest.
Okay, it's clear.
So, and people who also eat in the night, late at night, it is not really advantageous, because once you eat late at night, where is the first place you go to? Bed. On the bed, you don't stand on the bed. You lie. Our stomach is made in a J shape. As it's J shape, hydrochloric acid is being secreted from under. When you lie down, the J is like a hook. So the hydrochloric now runs out of that part and comes now to your esophagus and burn, because hydrochloric acid is really acidic. Once it burns there, you start feeling it up here.
Right.
Because your esophagus runs right from your stomach right to your neck. So you start feeling it throughout the tract. So it's called heartburn.
All right, sir. I've been hearing this, so I just want to ask the question. I don't know, maybe you have the answer. How does sleep actually help us lose weight?
That's really beautiful, because sleep is something that they don't teach you in school.
Yeah.
They don't tell you, they just tell you that go and rest.
Yeah.
But you don't know how important it is. Once you are asleep, right, that is when your body takes time to heal the other worn out or repairing tissues. That is when your brain works. That is when your brain needs to take time and screen your body. It's like a screen. You cannot be playing football and they are screening you. You must rest. You must lie down before they screen you. That is how the brain screens. So while you are asleep, there are a lot of things happening. The only part of our body that does not rest is the brain. But during the night, the brain is less active and it helps it a lot. So it's good for you to help your brain to help itself, to help your body. So while you are asleep, that is when your body takes time to heal itself, to actually screen your body and all of those fun, like to take away oxidative stress. That is when the brain does that. So sleep is really, really important.
Oh.
Okay, so can eating less sometimes mean better health?
I will always say it depends on the person. I will not advise someone who is malnourished, like I said earlier, to eat less.
Like Jack.
You'll be killing you'll be killing the person. But I can advise someone who is obese, someone who is overweight, to eat less.
Okay.
So that is it. So it actually depends on the individual. You cannot just prescribe something to somebody, I mean, like a particular way to eat without actually consulting the person, actually knowing the problem, the cause of the problem. If you don't know the cause, you cannot know the solution.
So must we eat 3 times a day?
It's not a must to eat 3 times a day.
Okay.
That is why even you go under World Health Organization, they require daily intake of energy. It is not registered on the amount of times you eat per day. It is registered on the amount of energy you gain from food.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm to gain, for example, 5,000 kilocalories from food, which will take me per day, I will know how to share that 5,000 kilocalories into maybe 10 sets of food or 8 sets of food.
Right.
So eating a certain amount of times is not a necessity. All is that you should make a particular required daily intake per day.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. I have this issue. You know, at first we used to think that diabetes, high blood pressure, and so many other popular diseases are for the old people.
Yes,
Yes, better we used to think say
Yeah, that's true.
The kind of person figure the guys.
yes, more you get certain age,
that
you get
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, but nowadays, I think youth they get they sick more than.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Very true.
I don't know. I just want to know how does this food we eat, take place? Like cause one of the causes of this sickness.
Yes. Actually, food, like I said, we have drifted away from traditional meal a lot. And now we are jumping into what processed food. All these processed food, they are always rich in these nutrients in a way that our body just have it excess. And when it's excess in the body looks for a way to eliminate it. The body stores some and want to eliminate some. So once your body is storing it and is still struggling to eliminate it and you're only adding it, it's actually causing a problem. Once your sugar level, for example, carbohydrate is the most common source, the most common type of food, like if you want to eat. So carbohydrate is broken down to sugars, to glucose, which is the primary source of energy. When this glucose is much in the body, it turns to be a problem. It brings what? Diabetes. Once you have diabetes is a non-communicable disease, meaning that once diabetes come, the others can come. For example, once diabetes have come because of excess sugar, the sugar is being stored, like I said, is being converted to glycogen, stored after that to converted to fat. Once you have excess fat in your body, what is it called? Obesity. From obesity now, all of these fatty acids now will be deposited where? In the arteries, like I said. Once it's deposited there, now it starts causing what? Atherosclerosis. After that, atherosclerosis leading to a stroke. So once you have one of these diseases, you can have a sequence of them. Even arthritis. Arthritis is just simply sugar wear in the knee, in the legs, in the lymph. That's it. So from sugar, which is carbohydrate, it can lead to many other diseases.
Okay, so Mr. Daniel, are you trying to say it's possible to reverse conditions like obesity just with food?
Yes, it's actually very possible because the cause of obesity is food. So the solution is still food.
All right. Thank you very much. Please, I have this question. What are some African ingredients or food that can help heal the body if used every day?
Okay. Very nice questions. According to my own research personally, because I've done lab sciences when it comes to food, like to test nutritional profiles of food. I will advise everybody these following things you should always keep in your house. One, moringa. Either you have the moringa powder or you have the moringa leaves, which are dried. Because moringa is one of the most richest plant source when it comes to phytochemicals and essential elements to our bodies. Moringa. Another thing is watermelon. Let me just say this. You see watermelon? Watermelon is actually 80% of water, yes. But you see the seeds?
Yeah.
The seeds are very powerful. Watermelon seeds. When you eat watermelon, no chew the seed. Don't spit it out. Chew it and swallow. It is rich in selenium and magnesium, which is an essential food for the brain. You also have what we call egusi. Any melon, any from the melon family, all of them, they are seeds. Any egusi, especially the one that have that green back, that country egusi, is very, very nice. Another thing is turmeric. That yellow thing that they call yellow ginger.
Turmeric.
Turmeric also, it's very, very powerful, very essential. Soursop, one of the best fruits and the most powerful antioxidant fruits that we have. There are people, I think you can even search online, there are people who have been healed from cancer using only soursop, the fruits and the leaves.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. So what are the 3 food myths you would love to erase from the African consciousness today?
Food myth. Like when we were growing up, I'll start with this one. When we were growing up, our parents will always reserve the bigger part of meat to the father.
Yeah.
They'll say, na papa buy am, so na any will chow the bigger one. Don't know.
Hate for her.
No, we were actually getting that wrong. That is why when they grow old, what happens? They start developing illnesses. All of this meat part is actually the proteins, right? These proteins are actually very important to younger people who are growing, because their body is in a growing phase. That is why when we grow, we stop growing at a particular age. Yes, so these proteins now help these children to grow, like to increase their muscles and so on, to get bigger in size. But once they've attained a certain particular age, that growth stops. And what they need now is maintenance. So the maintenance comes from what? Micronutrients. Micronutrients like, for example, vitamins and minerals. Those are the 2 micronutrients. And the second food myth we would like to erase is that grenadine gives blood.
Hey.
Abeg. Read your labels very well. Take the label of grenadine. You will not see any element there that adds blood.
That's a red, we no send our blood.
So,
That
right
red color
mentality.
that red color is actually a colorant.
Hey, so far. Even Guinness.
Yes, even Guinness. There's nothing in Guinness that actually adds blood. Nothing.
So we've actually been wasting our time.
So you should not be mixing that too, and so on and so forth. Like I've been saying, always read labels. I'll show you how to read labels, how when you want to buy anything consumable, what you look at, what it means.
Wow.
All these companies, they write everything there. If you look at even cigarettes, they write on it that word. Cigarette use. They even draw the picture of something. You see? So it's not like it is hidden. It's not hidden. It's not hidden.
Oh.
It is on it. So we should always read labels.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be moving to another segment of the show. Just follow us and watch how Mr. Daniel will be demonstrating this stuff. All right, let's go. Well, these people hope so. I think, Mr. Daniel, the table is yours.
All right,
We're just watching.
like I was saying, before we buy food, we should always read the label now. And there are a lot of quotes in these things that people don't know. But I'll show you how to read the labelings and how to understand it. For example, let's start with this one. How do we call this?
Oil.
Granola oil. Cause it granola oil.
Yeah.
Okay. What is this?
Palm oil.
What is this?
Palm oil.
What is this?
Palm oil.
Look at the ingredients. These are them. Is there anything there from granola?
No.
Okay.
So this is actually palm oil.
This is palm oil, like I said. Bleached palm oil.
Hey! All right. You know, Lenny. I mean, the other friend, every man knows say they live life. Now it's a palm oil, red oil.
Even this one, this is what oiliona. See, they say is the best.
Yeah.
You put it is granola oil, be it.
It's actually gonna oil.
What's this?
Palm oil. So it's actually written there.
It's actually written on it, like I always say. When you pick a product, anything edible, read the labelings. Always read the labelings. Okay,
Hey.
let's look at something. Plenty of we would ever go njoka. Best thing I will buy black mixer or energy drink. Yeah, see I'm here. This one is an energy drink.
Yeah.
This is it. It's clearly written on it. Look at.
Do not mix with alcohol. Hey! It's what they drink down.
Yes, you are saying.
Yeah.
Do not mix with alcohol. Do not mix this one with alcohol. But for Monaco, black.
People just take
black-
and drink with that. We just need to read it.
Exactly. It's not like the company is blind. The company, they know.
You are writing it. You have written it there. So
You are written there. Okay, this one, we call it what? People call it baji. Yeah, it's good though. Because a lot of people say it's butter. Butter, bread and butter. They put you this one, you think you have taken butter. This is not butter. This is actually the name on it. Margarine. Now, it's actually made from what, like I said earlier, from plants, right? Now, let's see whether there's anything inside here from plants. Where are we going to the ingredients and the nutritional information? Now, these are the ingredients. hydrogenated vegetable oil, palm, water, emulsified. All of these other things down here are additives. Let's go to the next one. Look at if you are bouillon cubes, seasoning cubes, but people will call it generally Maggi. But Maggi is actually a trade name from Nestle. Recent research have shown that these things can cross the brain barrier and affect the brain when taken in excess. So at first they used to make Maggi from what? From meat, though. Like the kidney, the boil meat, and the water comes out, they extract it and use it to make their Maggi. If you look at the ingredients, salt, sugar. Some people always say, me I need me salt and chona Maggi. It's still here. It's written on it. This is salt. This is salt. This is sugar. This flavor enhancers. The flavor enhancer is what? Monosodium glutamate. Sodium again. Do you know what the main component of salt is? It's sodium chloride. Sodium and chlorine mixed together. It still has what? Sodium. So this one is even intense with salt than normal salt. Because this is it now. They have doubled it. This is salt here and now it's this again. Sodium.
Yeah.
So these things are that. This is what is causing the health risks that we are facing out. Now this is the common one for students. Your best. Your best. Majority of students now, you want to come back, you got M1 Indomie, you don't chop.
Yeah.
Do you actually read the even chop and roll it? Yeah. But are you actually reading the notice?
No, don't.
Look at it. They are aware that this thing that can do this thing to your body. So they write it on it now. We Cameroonians, the way they say, if you want any information for Cameroonians, them not to read, you put it on the newspaper, they'll never read. That's why they're writing on it, because they know you will not read.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is another one. This is what? Chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate.
They say when chocolate is made from cocoa.
Yeah.
It's actually made from this seed. So now, let's see the quantity of cocoa. Because the cocoa is the main thing that we are actually eating here. So let's see the quantity of cocoa that they are using to make chocolate. From here, you can read sugar is still there. 47%. Almost 50%. 47%. Vegetable oil, 32%. When they buy the chocolate, they still do it. It's go turn oil. Yeah. Mix and then fine. Cool. Come now. See the percentage of cocoa. Is the cocoa powder. 6%. 6% of that's the percentage of cocoa that they use to make this soap.
But this is just sugar.
This one,
Your flour for one.
you have to consume anything naturally from nature which have the benefits of cocoa. This is the solution.
Oh.
Cocoa seeds.
Yeah.
Cocoa seeds. Very, very rich. The best brain food ever that you can ever have. A lot of people don't like it because it's bitter. But people should rest by it now. It may be bitter and more, but your system likes it. That is what your system will choose. People can test it. This is very nice. So about 6%. If you want to measure now the quantity of this thing, I don't even think it gives you this seeds up to 7. I don't think so. Now let's look at now the sugar. Sugar is 47%. That 47% is sugar in 400 grams. The conversion for us to see the amount of cubes of sugar in this particular thing, I already did it, and it's giving a total of 47 cubes of sugar. This is approximately the amount of
sugar is in here.
Present here.
Wait, you type of flop for the
as available sugar. If you take this into inside, it go flop. So we are basically consuming what? Sugar and oil. Sugar.
I know, but let me sugar like that chocolate.
This one is still the same thing. This one is still the same thing with that Indomie. Now, this. What is this? This is Fanta. People say Fanta is from orange juice. So if you read the labeling, you will not see anywhere that will tell you that orange is ever there. Look at the ingredient. First one, carbonated water, sugar.
But the color signifies sugar. The color signifies orange, right?
Is the color? Is the colorants that I've used? They use an orange color, and orange also is a color, not only a fruit. So yeah, it's actually they are just painting to market it out. Okay, you continue reading. There's still somewhere that they talk that they say something very interesting here. This is another ingredient. Non-nutritive what? Sweeters. Look at it. Non-nutritive.
Right.
All the labels are there.
So far.
Anytime you want to buy anything you want to buy, I always say this: read the labels. read the labels.
Very important.
It's very important. All this information that they are writing here, they are pay people to write this thing on it. And it's for us so that we know what we are consuming. So that we don't go and abuse it. And that's why we cannot sue them. If you drink this thing and die, you can never sue.
You can never sue them. Never it there, yeah.
They have written it there.
Sure.
That is your
Now
responsibility.
you fire die.
Now you fire and die.
Yes.
The same thing, all of this one. If you still look at, this is the one now.
They give blood.
You see, like I said, there's nothing there that you see. There's nothing natural, even 1%. Even if there's nothing there natural. These are the ingredients. If you don't have the proper knowledge about it, you will never understand the meaning of all these things like that. All this, you look at it.
Yeah.
All the ingredients there are nothing natural, just water. And then somewhere now you just come and see sugar.
Chaya.
Hey.
Sugar must be.
Sugar must be there to make it see. The same thing we cook. The same thing. If you look at it, you will not see anything natural.
Oh.
You will not see anything natural. Sugar. This one alone has approximately this amount of sugars in it. This small bottle that you see. It has approximately this one. This one should be the least. This one should be the maximum. Because the calculation that's 3 years.
So if you take this one and this one for a day, you're taking a half packet of sugar.
So.
Exactly. So that's why I always advise people, please, if you want to buy anything else, read the label. It is very, very important. Our system can actually regulate everything that is in here. That is the good thing about our system. But what we always do that affects us in future is how we abuse it. There's a particular limit that they always still state there. Don't do this, don't do that. When you start crossing that limit, you will not be aware.
There is one in there. Let her read.
Every Sunday, our parents will always, some of our rich parents, buy this one and give to the children. And what? The father too will drink like Tiri.
Yeah.
It's more than that for him already. He's not even supposed to drink one. Because at his stage, he's not supposed to drink it. So, all of these things, it's always regulated. And it's our responsibility to always know that. That is why this information are on everything. We also have another thing, milk. Milk is the highest food that can cause food poisoning. It's not treated right. If a milk is expired, throw it away. No matter that I say, na error enter there. No.
Throw it away.
Throw it away. Throw it away. If you read the things on milk, you will notice that milks have, for example, yogurts have micronutrient, microorganisms in it. That means there are living properties in that yogurt. And these living organisms in that yogurt is actually useful. You see glucides on it, you see some other things. They are called probiotics. Probiotics are simply microorganisms that help our bodies to digest food. They help you to absorb this thing. They are useful. That means they are called useful bacteria to our system. But now, once they are in that milk, they always write the expiry date of milk, but based on the lifespan of those microorganisms. If they die inside that milk, what happens? They release toxins in it. We take it in our system. It is a problem. It is a problem. That means your liver does not even want to see it. Mayonnaise. Yeah. You say mayonnaise, people make mayonnaise. I myself, I don't buy mayonnaise anymore. I do my mayonnaise and I use. Because I believe that what I'm doing is what I know that I'm putting inside. If you still come and look at the labeling of mayonnaise, you what? 78%. This thing is oil and what?
Water, 7.5%, egg yolk,
Vinegar.
sugar, salt. Sugar.
Sugar most of all. Sugar must be there to make
Outside.
The amount of oil is 78%.
78%.
78%.
Oh yeah, this now. You need to start using smells.
Yes. For example, like test it there. Both just take one spoon and put inside a frying pan. It melts. Generally in oils, I've talked so much about oils, but there's one advice that I would advise to either if you are a pop-up seller or you are doing roadside business, please, for health purposes, if you use oil, the normal frying cycle of oil is 2 fries. After 2 fries, you throw it. Don't put it in your cupboard and use it to cook jama. Throw it. These are people's health that you are playing with.
Sure.
People say they cannot suffer this.
People already search up on the year now.
They cannot suffer the effect now. In maybe 20 to 25 years to come, they will not even know that you are the one.
Yeah, they will never know.
But you have a hand in it. You are responsible for it.
So I think we are done here, right?
Yeah, we are done here.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. I think we don't learn a lot. You all have learned a lot, and we at least let's practice this. Let's try. I don't know, please. What message do you have
to anybody that want to start this life, like practice how to live, what to consume, what to take, and to stop all these sweet things and all those stuff? What message you have for them? Those who want to do it but they are feeling lazy, because man, let me so every morning I need to drink my tea with most of sugar. I give a pack left 20 inside cup. Yeah, so what message you have for me?
Well, that's true. They often say Rome was never built in a day. And you've already practiced, you've already made your life like this is a lifestyle. I must do this in the morning. I must take this amount of sugar. Yes, that is your lifestyle. You cannot just change immediately from it. It will not work. So what for you, it is still very open, it's still very early for us to change to a healthier lifestyle, in the sense that the knowledge of food diversity. The meaning of food diversity is that all of these things, they have natural replacement.
Yeah.
If you start looking for natural replacement for anything, we will always have it.
Okay, Mr. Daniel. So, where can our audience reach out to you or follow your
Yeah, it's very important.
for consultation on nutrition?
Okay, that's very important. I am on TikTok as Uncle Dan 237.
Okay.
Go down to
Uncle Dan 237. You can write me there and ask my number. I'm always available. I'll give you. I've been consulting people there.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, do you have any last words for African parents about their food habits they are passing on to their children?
Well, the last words I'll give to African parents is that they should treat food as a medicine. If not, tomorrow they will treat medicine as a food.
Oh. All right.
Strong talk.
I also don't understand. I don't need to explain. Yes, you need to know what you're supposed to give to your children, because as they grow, now so sick will come. You go try look for money to cure them, look for money. Meanwhile, you are the cause because of what you gave them to eat. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Uncensored Twin featuring Mr. Daniel. I believe we have learned a lot, and I believe we'll try our best to avoid some of the things they have stated that it affects our body.
Sure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, like always, watch us every Sunday 7 p.m. on CTB Studio YouTube. Please don't forget to subscribe. We love you all. Thank you for watching.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.